Nate 528 here, y'all. I know it's been a while since I made a great video for y'all. And I just want to tell y'all, we gotta be inside nature. We gotta breathe what God had brought us to breathe. And this is God's breath. Oxygen is God's breath. Like we can't fill our lungs up with things that we shouldn't fill our lungs up with, you know? Like we basically have to breathe in the great air. We have to breathe, you know. God says breathe. After we get done working out or after we get done running or we used a lot of our energy, what do? We breathe because we're calling upon the breath of God. When God created Adam, and after he formed him from the dust of the earth, God breathed into his nostrils in order to create him a living soul. So you're not a living soul unless you're able to breathe. So basically, after we use a lot of our energy, our body energy, we then go to our soul energy, which God gave it from us through his breath. So when God breathes inside of us and after we just worked out a lot of our body energy, our physical. Now we're calling upon our spiritual strength to rejuvenate that physical strength. We're calling on the name of God, whether we know it or not, just by breathing. So that's a great thing that we're doing all the time just by working out. We're always calling upon the name of God. Even if we're not breathing that hard, we're still calling upon the name of God. We're calling on the breath of God just by breathing, and that's a good thing to always breathe, and there's always blessings that we have. And people take everything that we do every day for granted. You gotta remember that it's always somebody in a much worse predicament than you. It's people around who can't even move or walk. It's people around who needs oxygen tanks, who can't even directly breathe. So they use their faith or they use their body just to be able to focus on breathing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a lot that people do that a lot of people take for granted. And we just always have to make sure that we're taking our lives seriously, because our soul is on like, it's being weighted right now. Like everything that we do is being judged. Like, and God, he wants us to ultimately come and live with him. And that's just the thing about God. Like, God knows exactly what's the best thing for us, and we're always going to listen to him. Then he's going to bless us with even more miracles, and much more greatness is going to happen because we follow his lead. It's just like when Moses were leading people outside of Egypt all on the command of God. The journey of them would have took 11 days if they all would have listened to God, and if God would have been more subservient to listen to God even more and be more patient with the people. But it ended up taking 40 years because a lot of people complain, and like we gotta watch us as a people to not complain all the time. People are in a much more predicament. They were complaining, saying that they would rather be in Egypt even though that they were enslaved because they had food or they had this or they had that. But God was really testing their faith and bringing them out of slavery. And what they needed to understand is that they were in a much worse predicament. But since they were not comfortable in their comfortability, then that made them upset because they got so used to being slaves. They got so used to being comfortable. Their faith was shook up a little bit. Their faith was shook up a little. Their faith was shook up a little bit because they weren't used to being free. They weren't used to being able to do what they want. And since they were doing what they want, they were complaining. And that's bad of a people to complain. So we just got to be more respectful, and we just got to be more focused on God, because God is going to take us out of that comfortability in order to show us something great to strengthen our abilities. So God is taking us out of comfortability in order to strengthen more of our abilities. So we just always got to trust in God, believe in God, and stay focused. So hope this word bless y'all. And I hope that y'all like, comment, and subscribe and share this video. Faith Nate 528 out. I love y'all.